we have a custom at commencement to invite a leader in the field of journalism to speak, offering our students sage advice. And today's journalism expert is extra special. Late last summer, Merrill College's most senior faculty member came to me with the startling announcement that he plans to retire at the end of this school year. Like everyone at Merrill College and journalists around the country, I had long ago conferred journalism professor icon status to Professor Carl Sessions Stepp. 30-some years ago, before I had ever set foot on the University of Maryland campus, I had started reading his columns when he was senior contributing editor in the college's American Journalism Review. I was envious of the journalism students who were fortunate to learn journalism history, writing, and editing from Carl. Professor Stepp's journalism roots run deep. He began writing for his hometown paper, the Marlboro Herald Advocate, in Bennettsville, South Carolina, in 1963 after his freshman year in high school. He studied journalism at the University of South Carolina, where he edited the Gamecock. Following college, he was a reporter and an editor for 12 years with the St. Petersburg Times, the Charlotte Observer, and USA Today. He joined the faculty at Merrill College in 1983. Professor Stepp specializes in writing and editing, journalism history and heritage, and newsroom organization and change. He has written 2 books, Writing as Craft and Magic and Editing for Today's Newsroom. For you parents in the audience today, yes, Professor Carl Stepp really is as nice as he seems. And yes, he really does care about your future journalist. In fact, if you take a picture of him today with your graduate and send it to him, I promise he'll be able to pull it out in 10 years and describe the awesomeness of your kid. I've seen him do that. Please join me in welcoming Professor Carl Sessions Stepp.
Thank you very much, Dean Douglas. That's very nice. Of the hundreds of lectures I've given in my 35 years here, I tried to decide which one you might enjoy this morning, and I came up with the New York Sun and the Rise of the Penny Press in 1833. No, we're not going to do that today. Although it's a pretty good one. For 4 years or so, we have tried to help you all think. What I want to do today is make this more about feeling. For the next few minutes, I'd like to focus on feelings and rooms, and because it's required in the commencement speaker's contract, the future. As you know, this day marks a all-important relationship-changing transition. And I know the students know what I'm talking about. It means that after today, we can be friends on Facebook. So I want to speak today as a kind of friend, and yes, as a parent and a grandparent, about feelings. And I want us to do this together. So start thinking now about some of your feelings today. So, Summer, I told you I was going to call on you. Tell me one thing you're feeling right now.
Called upon.
Called upon. Scott, tell me one thing you're feeling. Excited. Helen, tell me one thing you're feeling. Emotional. I want to hear from a parent. What's one thing you're feeling? Proud. Other parents, what else? Excited. A little bit less poor than you were. So, listen, I want you to help me with this. You're feeling pride, you're feeling relief, you're feeling anticipation, no more tuition checks. But there's some anxiety, isn't there? And there's some concern. Last night at the campus commencement, President Lowe quoted the great Dr. Seuss lines about the places you will go. But as journalists sometimes do, let's turn that upside down. And let's talk a little bit about the places that you have been. In this room that marks an important transition, what better way to call up some of your feelings than to think about the many rooms you have been in already in your lives. And I seriously want you to have to think, to feel, as I reel off some of the names of these rooms. We'll start with one that we're not going to spend much time on, but the parents out there will know what I'm talking about. There was a room, it was probably a room, although cars have been used, where you came into being. And you might be surprised that there are parents out there who have a pretty good idea when and where that happened. Moving right along. There were labor rooms and delivery rooms, and finally, ecstatically, the delivery room. You don't remember that, but we do. For some, there was the adoption room, the family room, where the bond was sealed. The nursery room, of course, with its new paint job and new furniture and fuzzy, cuddly, stuffed animals. You don't remember that, but maybe you begin to remember the big girl and big boy room with its bed that you could fall out of. Down the hall, maybe a playroom, and pretty soon classrooms. Do you remember your first classroom? What were you feeling that day? Many of us went home and cried, and then rejoiced at the extra time we thought we were getting. Schoolrooms, lunchrooms, homerooms, locker rooms, detention rooms, basement game rooms and pool rooms and media rooms, maybe Sunday school rooms or scout meeting rooms, piano practice rooms. My grandmother had a Christmas room. Anybody have special rooms that you remember in your childhood? Say so if you do. That I haven't talked about. And then the new and enchanting world of virtual rooms, chat rooms and the rest. For good and sometimes not so good. Hotel rooms and motel rooms, those family trips. Surely you remember those. The Grand Canyon. And along the way, more waiting rooms and inevitably emergency rooms. Daddy, I fell out of the tree and my wrist hurts. Does that sound familiar to anyone in here? And then, of course, maybe, and we won't spend too much time here, courtrooms. A long-remembered episode in my family began in a bedroom with someone in my family coming in and saying, Daddy, would you come out here and talk to this police officer? And then, of course, dorm rooms and roommates. A new start in a new place. Can you remember what you were thinking your first day? What you were feeling your first day on this campus? Study rooms, meeting rooms, fancy classrooms, lab rooms, club rooms, library rooms, laundry rooms, bar rooms. His room and her room. Some intense things happened in these rooms. The years have flown by, haven't they? And lately, it's been job interview rooms and new levels of tension and excitement. And coming soon, newsrooms, boardrooms. Maybe you'll cover Congress and you'll go to the hearing room. Maybe you'll cover the White House, as Jim and I and others in the room have done. And you'll go to that infamous briefing room. And you'll probably have a new room, an apartment room, spare room, a room of your own. And don't be surprised if in a few weeks you return home and in that place you remember there is a guest room. You've been in hundreds of rooms, haven't you? And you're just getting started. They've sown a lot of feelings that you'll never forget. And now it's time to do what we came here for. And that is for us to make room for you in the postgraduate world. So let me be serious for just a minute. Journalism faces serious challenges. Our country faces serious challenges. Our world faces serious challenges, and we're counting on you and people like you to help us fix things, to seek and tell the truth when it's not always easy and not always appreciated. The rooms you've been in are important. The places you've been and the thoughts you've thought and the feelings you have felt. So many people go into journalism because they want to change things for the better. So be inspired and be motivated. Be motivated by these places, these feelings. Your brains matter a lot, and we've appreciated them here. But your feelings matter too. Don't underestimate the power and the importance of fire and zeal and drive and passion of your feelings. You have many more rooms to enter, and we're happy to make room for you. And we urge you to use your thinking brains and use your feeling hearts to do better journalism, make a better world, and be a better person. And as you do, please remember the most important room of all. Speaking on behalf of everyone here who cares about you, I leave you with the most important room of all. The room that we have and will always have in our hearts for you and for your dreams. Godspeed and good fortune to every single one of you. Thanks.